Do you like working on every single show at Oakland? Or sometimes you wish, like, I have a break?
When the students are invested, then I like doing it. If I know that the students are committed to the work that they're doing, then I want to be present to help, to guide, and or simply to be around that level of commitment. If I feel like I am putting more effort into the student shows than they are,
That's a problem.
that is a problem. And it's not wildly uncommon. The reality is that the concept of what it means to actually work, what it means to actually care about something, is not something that is necessarily inherent. That we in every interview you hear people talk about how they're passionate about the theater and so on and so forth, but we're talking about people who have no idea what it means to be passionate about something. This is a problem of youth. This is not criticism. The question of whether or not they are committed, whether or not I'm committed, is demonstrated in the work that is actually done. And so you never really know until you get into it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Are you strongest at like, or okay, not like strongest, or just like if you got to pick like lighting design or set design or sound design like only, or like costume design like only for one show, what would you choose? Like not even depending on show, just like in general, what is your
Oh, scenery.
scenery? Okay.
But only because I have a God complex, and there's something about creating the physical environment in which a show is performed that I find enormously fulfilling.
What was your first show here? This is not even written down. Like, what was your first show at OU designing for?
Designed?
Yeah.
Grey Gardens.
Oh, okay.
That's right. There's some problems with it.
Okay.
Hmm?
Name a few of the challenges you've had, because I'm sure there's been a lot.
Like in life?
No, in this, like, industry, like, getting into this, just, like, doing this, like, whatever. Like, breaking into this business, like, trying to get work out of it, just, like, all that.
Actually, weirdly, it's not as hard as you might think. I mean, there are lots of challenges. There are lots of challenges, but actually getting into the industry is not as hard as you might think. Staying with it is hard.
Okay.
The industry is... You work.
How is it hard to stay in it?
You are an aspiring actor.
Mm-hmm.
Your job, for as long as you stay in the career, will be auditioning. Not
Yeah.
performing, but auditioning.
Yeah.
The amount of energy that it takes to keep that current is exhausting. Most people stop.
Mm-hmm.
The energy that it takes to keep the work sincere is exhausting. The number of times that you will be asked to work on a project that you don't necessarily believe in, it can be disheartening. Starting is easy.
Starting is the easiest.
Starting is easy. Staying is hard.
Okay. Okay, here, this is kind of like the same, but it's different. Like, what are, like, the qualities, like, of someone who's going into tech design and, like, what...
So you're an actor,
like...
so I'm going to answer for actors.
Okay. Act for...
But it's the same thing.
True. Okay, just, like, answer for that and just be like, what advice would you give them about, like, the real world? Like, what they're actually going to face. Like, after college when they're not having, oh, work on this show, just this, and they have to find shit on their own to do.
You good for another long answer?
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. Long answers are way better.
Resilience. That's a shit answer. have something to say. Okay, qualities. Commitment, hard work, a willingness to say yes. Yes, I will get coffee. Yes, I will sweep the stage. Yes, I will do whatever. The answer is yes, within certain parameters. Don't be a theater martyr.
That's a good one.
Right. Okay. There's production end and then there's creative end. Production end is the carpentry, the hanging of the lights, and that sort of thing. Is not what I do.
Is that what you like started off doing? Is like that what you kind of have to work up your way?
Really, it isn't.
Okay.
I really did start in design. I mean, I've done a little bit of the other stuff, but I really got lucky and began designing. Don't get me wrong, designing in the early levels means that you are painting and building your own shows, but the emphasis was on design. Here's the thing. The world is filled with people who want to be creative people who don't care about enough beyond their own narrow vision of what their work is. If you want to design, if you want to be an actor, if you want to whatever, be a smart designer, be a smart actor, be a cultured actor, be an experienced actor, designer, director, whatever. See the world, talk to people, care about their stories. Meet people on the bus. I know we don't take buses in Michigan, but whatever. Meet people on the bus and listen when they talk to you. Care about the audience. Care less about your own portfolio or your own design or your own acting reel or whatever it happens to be, and care more about the audience. What you do, what we all do, is a gift. It's a gift of storytelling. Hush. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. In the same way that presumably when you give a gift, a Christmas gift, whatever, you are thinking about the person that's receiving it. Let that same mindfulness be present as an actor, as a designer, as a whoever. Take time to yourself to not be a theater person.
Like have a life besides theater, kind of thing?
Talk to people who are not in the theater, either because it's good to not be a theater person, or else because it's good to use that to reflect. Care about everything. If there is someone in the world who cares about something, I sound like a crazy person, don't I?
No.
If there's someone in the world who cares about something, chances are it is worth caring about. Care about geology. Care about algebra. Care about the history of Kiribati, small island nation in the South Pacific, which actually has a reasonably interesting history.
Like expand your horizons type thing.
Yes. But not necessarily in a I must know everything sort of way. But simply be open.
Okay.
Simply, if you can find that place where you are still and open to observation, or to whatever may come your way. Again, not in a dangerous, like, hey, I just met this crazy person, and now we're going to go into the deep sea, the underground of whatever sort of way. That's what Herman Hesse novels are for. But in a breathe the world, I sound like a hippie sort of way.
I know what you're like. Yeah, I know what you're going for, though.
And recognize that all of it, really and truly, all of it, will feed the work that you do, regardless of which side of the curtain you're on. Let's say this. The best advice I ever got, No, two best pieces of advice I ever got. One, more color. Again, regardless of what the circumstance is, more color is always the answer. Two, start the day with generosity. Whether that is a generous word, a greeting, a gift, if it is generously watering plants and imagining the roots of the plants absorbing the water, whatever it is, just starting the day with the purpose of having an act of generosity will make you more mindful of the people around you for the rest of the day. And in doing so, it will allow you to, one, be a better person in general, and two, be a better communicator, which is what we are. Be a more compassionate communicator.
And this is philosophical. I'm going to keep this.
I sound like a fucking hippie.
I like it. And then, like, the last question that I didn't even write down, just like, do you love what you do? Because, like, I don't want to be one of those people who, like, wake up for work and, like, fuck, I have to go do this again. Or be like, oh my god, I like my career.
It depends on the day.
It depends on the day? But, like, overall, what would you say?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
There are days, and there have been some recently,
Mm-hmm.
Where I've gone home just torn, exhausted, burnt out by university politics, by frustrations with one thing or another.
Mm-hmm.
I've been decidedly overwhelmed by being constantly, chronically behind. I have designs due in Boston 24 hours ago.
Seriously?
No, really, that I haven't actually started yet because I'm too busy with everything else to actually do that. So tonight's an all-nighter. Yay! And yet, I've had shows where for 2 weeks running, I've averaged an hour and a half of sleep a night, every night for 2 weeks. Joyfully.
Okay.
Because the work is thrilling.
All right.
I did enjoy that. I like the thing. The thing is good. And sometimes it is good and sometimes it is not. It's like the cooking. Sometimes you have all the ingredients in front of you, but the tomatoes are a little too acidic and you don't catch it in time. And
Oh my God.
And the ratatouille then...
I wish I could give my professor this whole interview.
Wait, we're discussing the important things in life right now. This is true. Henry Miller, who I do not recommend reading until you are jaded.
Okay.
And don't be jaded. No, please don't be jaded.
I won't.
But,
that's one of my goals. I'm not going to be that person.
No, you're not.
I'm thinking.
You actually believe that might be true.
Thank you.
We're talking about a man who, in his autobiographical non-novels, was able to...
What's his name again?
Henry Miller.
Okay.
This is a man who wrote about the pleasures of life and the struggles of life, which mostly involves being hedonistic in Paris. But every now and then you catch him stepping away from prostitutes and criminals and writing about the thing he truly loves most of all, which is food. He has a piece, 10 pages, a childhood memory, 10 pages, of his German neighbor's mother's warm, fresh from the oven, pumpernickel bread smothered in homemade butter.
Oh my God.
And it's about the best food writing. Like, Food Channel has no purpose in this world other than to make people think that cooking is easy when it isn't. But maybe it is. This is a man who writes pages and pages and pages about sausage and pickles and everything in the world that is German and salty and sweet and full of actual flavor, as opposed to these nouveau fusion medleys of things that you can only get at Whole Foods, and why are we even bothering with this?
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.